After studying this module, you would be able to identify various stages of the product life cycle, understand how marketeers interpret product and market dynamics, evaluate various marketing strategies adopted during each stage of the product life cycle. What is the concept of product life cycle? Just like a biological life cycle that has different stages like the birth, growth, maturity, and finally the decay and death. Similarly, products also have a life cycle. When a new product is developed, it is said to have started its life cycle. The course that it takes after that is called the product life cycle, or PLC in short. The PLC is similar for every product, only that the timing between various phases may differ according to the kind of product and the time at which the product has been introduced. The essence is that products have restricted lives and pass through different phases which pose different challenges as well as advantages to the marketeers. This requires that marketeers are capable of evolving distinct techniques to deal with the various phases in a product life cycle of a particular product. Generally speaking, the textbooks speak about 4 stages. The first stage is the product development stage. The second stage is the introduction stage, the growth stage, the maturity stage, and the decline. Well, the product development stage is the prior stage even before the product is introduced. So, if we actually count from the stage of introduction, then there would be 4 stages: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. Philip Kotler actually includes the development stage also. So, now let us explain the 5 stages as defined by Kotler. Product development. This stage begins when the company develops a new product. It involves the process of idea generation, idea screening, concept development, market strategy development, business analysis, product development, testing, marketing, and commercialization. Then we have the introduction stage. This stage starts with the launching of the product. At this stage, the sale of the product is low, and due to low sales, there are heavy promotional expenses and profits are negative. Growth stage. In this stage, the sale of the product starts increasing and consumers start liking the product. The profit of the company also increases, but in this stage, the company is required to use different strategies to be in the market. Maturity stage. In this stage, the product enters the stage of maturity. This stage can last longer than the previous stage, and it may have within itself 3 stages. Growth maturity. The growth starts declining because of distribution saturation. Stable maturity. The growth starts declining because of the market saturation. And decaying maturity. consumers may start moving towards other products. Then we have the final stage, which is the stage of decline. All products definitely reach this stage, and when the sales start declining in absolute terms, then profits also drop. This may be due to various reasons like competition, changes in consumer preferences, and new technologies. Most of all, this stage happens because the consumers have lost the product has lost the advantage of novelty, which over a period of time gets diminished. Now, strategies in different stages of the PLC. A product faces different market responses at each stage. So the marketeer has to evolve suitable marketing strategies for each stage. New product development. In this phase, as has been explained, the new product is being developed. A lot of research and development goes into the process. The product is unknown to the consumers and still is within the precincts of the company. The company invests a lot in the development of the product, and therefore development costs are very high. The product has yet not been offered to the consumers, hence the sales are zero, though, so the profits are negative. The company invests a lot in various activities to make the product successful. Therefore, costs are very high. The introductory stage. In the introductory stage, the sales start happening but are very gradual. The cost per customer obtained is high as promotional expenses mount. The profits are negative and there are few competitors in the market, so the product has still to gain ground, though. The target investor customers, those who are not careful of purchasing new things that come in the market before anyone else comes. The strategies that marketeers can follow are: 1. Product. The marketeer may give a basic product as the profits are low and the cost of the basic product can be recovered only and not the augmented product price. The marketeer may utilize cost plus basis to set up the price of a commodity or service. Distribution. Selective distribution may be set up to avoid additional channel expenses and to position the product well. Advertising. Heavy advertising is needed to create consciousness amongst the early adopters and the dealers and resellers because the product is new and unknown. Sales promotion. Heavy expenditure has to be incurred to erect substantial demand for the new product. Then the growth stage. In this phase, it is characterized by accelerated growth, but in this stage the product is already there in the market and there is awareness of the product, so promotional messages and advertisement expenditure can be reduced. Instead of focusing on creating awareness about the product, promotion is done in a gradual manner for the product, and obviously the product is gaining ground amongst the competitors. The targets are early adopters, those who buy new products that come into the market but wait only till some people have bought them and can give feedback. Strategies could be in terms of product. Here the product extension services, warranties, and the augmented product can be offered as the core product has already had a demand and there are new potential customer base for the product. Price, in order to compete with strong competition, penetration pricing may be used. Distribution, intensive distribution system needs to be developed as the demand will grow rapidly now. Advertising, promotional efforts need to focus on the increasing awareness and interest in the mass market about the core and augmented product as well. Sales promotion. The marketeer may look at reducing expenditure to take advantage of the increasing demand. In the maturity stage, the growth has already reached its maximum and the product has already been widely accepted, but the growth starts slowing down. Those products that survive the earlier stages tend to remain for the longest period. In this phase, the sales grow at a decreasing rate and then stabilize. The producers attempt to differentiate the products and brands are the key to this stage. Price wars and intense competition occur, promotion becomes more widespread, and the greater variety of media could be used. Advertising puts price ahead the competition. At this point, the market reaches a point of saturation. This results in weaker players being forced out and stronger players vying for the market share. Strategies for this phase: the product needs to be diversified, the price has to be set for matching the competition, distribution requires to build more intensive distribution, advertising stresses the benefits of the product, sales promotion increases to encourage brand switching. The decline stage. In this stage, there is a downturn in the market. Sales may become very sluggish or even drop to zero levels sometimes. There is little hope of revival of the sales. The reason for decline could be many. It could be a change in taste, consumer preferences, technology, and so on. So, as we know, products come and survive for a certain while and finally they go out of vogue. So, it is basically when a product is phased out, when it goes out of vogue, that the declining phase takes place. And this has implications for strategy. The product may be phased out because there is no scope that it can be revived. The prices need to be cut down further if there are any laggards amongst the target population who would still like to buy the product. Distribution, selective or few distributors may remain who might still be able to sell the product in remote areas. Advertising, the level is reduced only to retain the hardcore loyalist and just for keeping some tab on the market. Sales promotion is reduced to the minimum level. There would hardly be any promotional activity. Sales in this stage can be lifted only by modifying the existing product, identifying new segments in which the firm can enter, prices can be decreased to the minimum level, the company can use newer and distribution channels. The advertisement message can be modified. Let us now discuss the PLC for different types of products. Different types of products possess different shapes of the PLC. The basic shape remains the same. However, a fad product develops a steeply sloped growth stage very quickly, and a short maturity stage and a steep decline stage. A product like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, or what we would in generic terms say the class of colas, not only experiences growth but a long phase of stage of maturity, when ultimately it tapers off, but it really does not reach the stage of decline very easily. And this cycle lasts over several decades. The duration of each product life cycle is unpredictable. It makes it very difficult to detect when the maturity stage has begun or when the decline stage is likely to take place. Due to these limitations, a strict adherence to the product life cycle model as a strategy could lead to a company having misleading objectives and strategy prescriptions. Rather than the product life cycle being used in a strict sense, it could be used as a rough guide to predict how the sales patterns may play out in the given competitive market conditions. All in all, PLC is a useful model, but it is beset with some uncertainty. Two examples can be used for further explaining the concepts. Facebook is in its mature phase of the product life cycle. Once it became, at one time, it became the norm for everyone to have a Facebook account, and the growth stage has now been surpassed. No new or obsoleting technology is expected to appear soon which would put Facebook out of business. While Facebook competes with other social media sites like Google+, Twitter and so on, it appears to be holding its own as far as the stage of maturity is concerned. Let us summarize what has been just discussed. There are 5 stages in the product life cycle. The pre-launch stage is the new product development stage, and the company invests in R&D and develops some new product. At this stage, the sales are zero, and because a lot of cost is incurred, therefore the profits are negative. In the introductory stage, the sales continue to be low, in fact, and the cost per customer to acquire a customer is pretty high. So once again, the profit is negative and advertisement expenses are high, so also is the sales promotion expense. The growth stage happens when people adopt the new product and sales start rapidly rising. This phase occurs because of the novelty of the product. At this point, a lot of the sales happen because of a genuine momentum in the sales, and the company does not have to spend too much on either advertisement or distribution and promotion. Therefore, the profits are also high, sales are high, and cost is low. In the maturity stage, the sales peak and the cost per customer is very low, and the prices are also well matched with the competitors, and the distribution channels have been stabilized, and therefore this is a kind of an ideal stage. Basically, the company needs to encourage the brand switching from other brands to their own. And in the declining stage, sales drastically fall, the product is on the way out, price cuts are further complicating the problem. There would be very few laggards who are in the target population. The distribution channels often become unprofitable, and therefore finally there is a weeding out of the product.